So look at my beautiful moon cycle that I created 'cause I thought I was so cute, right? So we're going to start off with new moon. We're going to get to the middle, which is full moon, and then we're going to go all the way back, okay? Just like the little cycle here, little circles happening. Yes, it is, okay? So we're going to be doing that. First thing I want to mention is if you didn't know, I normally start Aligned Action Academy on a new moon. So around week 6, it's normally like new moon has just passed recently and we're heading towards a full moon, like on average, right? So you should be around the waxing area, somewhere around there. Or it could be a full moon. I don't know. It changes every once in a while, obviously. So first thing I want to talk about is new moon. And each one of them is going to look like this. It's going to talk about the phases. It's going to talk about day 1 through day 3.5 for each cycle. And it's going to talk a little bit about, what's its best for, what's the energy like, what your energy is going to be like, what feelings you should be feeling, and what kind of activities or action steps you should be doing throughout these cycles. Now, this doesn't mean, just a heads up, let's say this one's all about vision boards and stuff like that. And then when we look at the full moon, it's going to talk about reassessing your work and goals and celebrating. It doesn't mean that you cannot celebrate during the new moon. What it is saying is that this is the best time to do this. Makes sense? So if you're going to do intentions on a full moon, that's fine, but it's best to use the energy that's happening around you so that you can what? Align with life, right? And that's the idea. We're going to take aligned actions that are going to move us forward and have life guide us and help us along the way. Okay, cool. So new moon is day 1. It's all about starting, renewing, and cleansing because it's day 1, right? And it's best for setting intentions. So normally during a new moon, what I will end up doing personally is I will get a notebook and a pen and I'll start writing down my intentions until the next new moon, right? This is a lot of times when you get together with, I get together all the time with Global Sisterhood Group. If you want, look it up. It's fantastic. You just get together with girls. You get together in literally a circle of sisters, and you end up telling each other what your intentions are for the next new moon and what you're going to focus on until then. So it's a great activity. It's best for journaling and vision boarding, all that jazz. This is the time to do that, okay? Creating new habits, it's perfect for that. Starting a new project, whatever it is, okay? Or even continuing a project, but having a new outlook to it. Your energy will probably be a little low or more inwards during your new moon. Okay, it's all about like conserving your energy and really focusing on up here, like what's happening, what do you want, what's happening, what do you want? That's what's going to happen a lot. Your feelings, first off, there's a lot of divine downloads that happen through new moon. For whatever reason, it's like ding, aha moments over and over again, okay? It's totally okay to be introverted and not want to leave the house much during new moon. That's perfectly fine. It's like supernatural, okay? And then action steps that you can do. Self-care is really important. Mindset work is really important. Focusing on your desires, meditating, journaling, reflecting. This is all part of the new moon. So really notice that a lot of it is going inwards and asking yourself, what do you want to focus on? What do you want to do? And that's what's happening, okay? As a total extra bonus during new moon, one of the things I recommend, new moon and full moon, you can do this on both, is getting water and putting it outside the house and, putting in a good container that nothing gets in it, but it's like see-through so that you can still, it can still get the moon energy and you can end up drinking that water. I do it every new moon and full moon. A lot of people just do it during full moon, but I love doing it in general. I can feel the difference as different ions when you do it. So go ahead and play with it and see which one makes you feel better, okay? So day 1, new moon. Now we also talked about the waxing phases, so really quick, I'm gonna go back up here. This is the waxing crescent, the first quarter, and the waxing gibbous, okay? I put all these 3 in one category because they have pretty similar energy. If you really wanna get in the nitty gritty and really get into it, cool, look it up. And if anything, talk to me and I can give it to you. But I want you to start somewhere and I don't want you to be like, oh my God, this is too much for me. So stick to this. It's a lot easier and you'll just feel better, long-term while doing this. So the waxing phases have to do with manifesting, right? And taking action, literally, which is the whole reason that I have Aligned Action Academy starting on new moon. We focus on Wheel of Life and getting into it. We get inspired and we do the whole thing in manifesting, right? Cool. So we created an intention. I want to write a book. I want to start a business, whatever it is. You're going to Aligned Action Academy. And now we're manifesting and taking action steps towards it. You're going to focus on productivity. You're going to learn new skills. You're going to get systems. You're going to join a new course, right? Whatever it is, you're going to be active. You're going to be increasing throughout the phase of your energy, okay? You're going to be able to start becoming more extroverted little by little. And it's like a lot of fun. You're going to be going out more, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to be more confident. You're going to be more balanced. You're going to be fully expressed with everything that you are, okay? This is all parts of it. And some action steps you want to do is take consistent action, right? Aligned action. Map out your goals, the goals that you wrote for the new moon, and start creating the little mini goals that you could do and break them down to, I'm going to do this on this week and this on this week, and really get to it. So it's all about structures and routines and making sure that you're working towards your goals, right? The full moon is all about growth, abundance, and my favorite is analyzing, okay? So during every full moon, I get my moon watered, I put it back outside, I'll get my crystals, I'll get a little, yoga mat, and I'll go outside and do some yoga in the full moon because it gives you energy, right? The energy, again, is really strong during the full moon. There's a reason that, like, the werewolves come out, right? So the werewolves come out and all the crazy things happen during a full moon because people have a lot of energy and are trying to get it out, okay? So full moon is a great time period to celebrate any and all of your wins that you've had so far. The reason that we break down the mini goals during waxing phase is so that we can check them off and feel super excited and celebrate what we've done so far, okay? And that's part of the abundance, that's part of the growth. The analyzing part is seeing the mini goals that you haven't completed yet and saying maybe what's stopping you or what can make you move forward with it. Getting feedback from others is really important during full moon. So notice that I mentioned that week 6 tends to be like in between full moon and new moon, like we're heading towards new moon again around this time period, or we just finished new moon and we're getting towards full moon. So new moon, we got new ideas. We did the whole like survey thing. We're getting feedback and the whole thing. You get me? We did that in between full moon and new moon. So we'll get to that. Okay, so assessment towards your goal, blah, 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 blah. We're re-evaluating. We're making sure that we're still aligned with our goals and that everything's in place. So full moon, normally new moon, I'm like, I'm going to do workout once, let's say 3 times a week, blah, 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 blah. During full moon, you're already 2 weeks in or so, and you want to like triple check that you're on point, that you've done the 3. And if you haven't, what can you do to really, get yourself there? If you're doing Aligned Action Academy, maybe new moon, you decided to join Aligned Action Academy, day 1, right? Full moon, you want to check in with yourself and say, well, am I still on task? Am I still on point? Or am I like slightly behind? What can I do to catch up, right? Starting your business, same thing. Writing a book, same thing. Well, I said I was going to do 300 words per day, and I've been doing none. Or I'm doing 100 to 200. I'm 200 off per week, whatever it is. What can you do differently to really move you forward, okay? So really taking those action steps and seeing what can you do differently and being okay with it. Don't take it too personal. Don't take it too literal. Love yourself. It's all about self-love here. Okay, in this little group, we talked about that already, and really continuing forward. The waning phases, again, it's 3 of them, okay? So notice, I'm going to go back up. The waning phase is like 6, 7, and 8. So it's full moon heading towards new moon, okay? So we're going back. It's going to be the waning gibbous, the 3rd quarter, and the waning crescents. So this one's all about finishing, more celebration, and releasing, okay? The whole idea of this is to be able to finish any projects you have. So anything that you put forward in new moon, you want to be able to finish in waning phase before the next new moon pops up, okay? You want to celebrate it. You want to complete it. You want to see what other tasks are missing or what else can you do throughout it. You're going to feel active. At the same time, we're heading towards new moon again, so you're going to start to get more introverted. So we were extroverted during the waxing and the full moon, and we're getting more introverted little by little during the waning phase. Now notice that it's day 18.5 through 29.5, right? So we have like a good time frame during there. Normally, I'm going to go back up really quickly. Normally, we still have really good energy in waning gibbous, and by waning crescent, we're starting to get more introverted. And again, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal, okay? So now we're really focusing on checking on our goals, making sure everything's okay. You can start planning for the next cycle, but I recommend waiting for the new moon, making sure that you're balanced, that you're resting properly, that you're not pushing yourself too much. And also, just a heads up, this is really important, your judgmental voice, that inner critic that we've talked about before, tends to pop up a lot more during the waning phases, because either you haven't finished your goal probably, or you're about to and it's telling you what's going to happen, like fear of success or fear of failure. Those two are popping up consistently with your judgmental voice and your inner critic voice during the waning phases. Okay, so notice I broke this down into 4. You'll see why in one of the next future days, okay, in week 6. I'm excited about it. Now, here's one of the reasons that we go through this, okay? Because a lot of us believe that we could be like superwoman, boss lady all day long and nothing's going to keep us down, which is fantastic, right? But it's not very realistic. If you really think about it, our energies are going to change. There's things about our day-to-day movements that one morning you wake up with like, oh my God, yes, I got this. And the next morning you're like, I don't want to do anything, right? And know that that's okay. If it's mood swings consistently, not during weeks, but like daily, something's going on. And it could probably be your food, and we'll get into that in day 2. But if it's something that's happening weekly and you're like, man, I've noticed that around new moon, I have less energy than I do during full moon. That is totally normal and it's okay. Think about it as like a little battery, right? We're like having low energy during new moon. We're getting filled up during the full moon, okay? I think I ran out of water. And we'll get more water. So I'm going to end this video. I think you girls get the point. And I will see you in day 2 for week 6. Let me close it off. Stop sharing and give you girls kisses. Mwah. Bye.